PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PACTV Community News, local stories from Duxbury, Kingston, Pembroke, and Plymouth. This week, we bring you to a bee habitat installation at the Plantation, a family leadership conference in Plymouth, and a peer leadership workshop in Kingston.
PCN brings you two anniversary stories, the 5th year of WATD's Almost Famous radio program and Duxbury Art Complex's 45th year's art showcase.
We head to Pembroke for an Eagle Scouts historic restoration project, and Pet Health brings us a new contributor, Animal Farm, out of Pembroke.
Town Talk brings Kingston's town administrator to the set, and we begin tonight at Silver Lake Regional High School. The Pay It Forward program is a collaborative effort with Karen, a nonprofit behavioral health and addiction treatment organization, and the Tri-Town FACTS Coalition. FACTS stands for Families, Adolescents, Communities Together Against Substance Abuse. It's a peer leadership program put on by the upperclassmen at Silver Lake Regional High School, and they're putting together a game show style presentation for the junior high school to help those students make healthy life choices. PCN got this story.
All right, so
the high school students are working together to create a presentation that will be presented to the 8th grade students over at the middle school. And the whole presentation focuses on decision making and empowering the students to make healthy choices. So while it is in conjunction with this anti-drug coalition, we don't want to just keep preaching the same don't do drugs, don't drink sort of message. Instead, it's more empowering kids to want to make healthy decisions and have them start to question why they might stray from that. I think that when students see adolescents that are a little bit more closer in age, anything that they have to say is going to be taken more seriously. It's going to resonate with the individuals a little bit more than if I'm an old fogey at this point. If I say anything, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So there certainly is this sort of, I guess, glam factor, so to speak, because we have these cool high school upperclassmen coming over special to speak with these middle school students. The game show is Who Wants to Make Healthy Choices? And essentially it's set up where we will get a number of volunteer contestants from the junior high, and they will come up on stage, and we have these hosts who will interview and ask them questions. It's set up to be about healthy decisions and the motivation behind why adolescents choose to do things. The name of the program is Pay It Forward, and indeed the hope is that although we have the Karen leadership that's kind of coaching us through this process, that the following years to come, our students who might be coming up from the 8th grade to the high school will want to partake in similar activities so that we create a relationship and a rapport between the two schools to better help the transition as the junior high students kind of come up to the high school, and to establish those connections where we actually focus on correcting social norm. So a lot of middle school students believe that all high school kids drink or do drugs, and we have these great leaders that are sending a very important message that no, that's not true. That is not the social norm, and that's not what is expected of you when you come to Silver Lake. We expect you to be healthy students who make good choices and good leaders in the community.
Another great program, another great message, empowering children from a young age all the way through high school, that they own what they do, that they have control over their lives.
Yeah, it is sad to say, I'm from the generation that if somebody like that or if something like that had happened when I was in junior high, we probably would have ignored it. It's the kind of thing that we would have brushed off to the side, and it's good to see that I think kids are paying attention a lot more. And in a big school like that, it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Good for them. That's excellent, excellent program. Plymouth North High School hosted a first annual Family Leadership Conference to provide training, information, and assistance to equip families with strategies to support their children. The event was an opportunity to learn about positive relationships, curriculum, and instruction, nutrition, wellness, and more. PCN was there to bring you this story.
As assistant superintendent, I'm always looking for ways to engage our families and bring them in either to our schools or to events to really work on that family collaboration. You know, parent engagement, family engagement is important to us. So back at the beginning of the year, we decided to have a family leadership committee, which will look at our practices and also help organize this event. So today's event, we have 16 workshops and a keynote, a parent rep from the Mass Board of Education. We have community resource tables, about a dozen, that are available for families to see what kind of resources are within our community. So we're really trying to help to collaborate, engage our families, educate our families on different things and practices that are happening in the school district. So we're really excited. We've had about 40 volunteers between parents, students, teachers, administrators, and we're hoping that we get a great turnout today.
So I'm a parent and a member of the Plymouth community, and I'm an information seeker and a connector. And I think everyone is really trying to learn as much as possible and sharing that information with others. And the more we do that, the more we move everyone forward. So the Family Leadership Conference is so exciting and important because we're bringing in excellent presenters, people in our education system that can really share information that's going to help our children and our families. And the more we connect with one another, the more we can really excite others in the learning process and engagement in our community. And I think that's so needed.
So there are many ways for modern families to engage with schools because we know how busy families are today. Some of those ways are to be part of a short-term project, perhaps on an interview team for teacher or for principal at a school, or on a district level for a, say, wellness policy subcommittee for a short amount of time. Other ways are to just follow the budget process in your town or in the state, and to engage perhaps every now and then to go to a board meeting or a school committee meeting to give public testimony or to submit written testimony on issues that you care about for your kids.
Statistics show that when parents are involved in their kids' school that they will succeed. It fills the gap, the educational gap. The key to the educational gap is parents. A lot of people think that to be an involved parent, it means you have to help out in the school and go to PTA meetings and give up a lot of your time. Everybody's working, parents are working 2 jobs these days, and hopefully this leadership conference will explain to people that to be an involved parent, there are many different ways and forms. If you give your child a healthy breakfast in the morning, if you do their homework with them, if you read with them at the end of the night, you're an involved parent. So what we're hoping to get out of this leadership conference is to give parents ways and tools so that they can be more active and involved in their students' schooling.
The Duxbury Art Complex can be a little tricky to find. Tucked in a rustic nook off of Alden Street, it is well worth the search. This year, the Art Complex Museum is celebrating 45 years with a series of artist demonstrations. PCN recently attended a demonstration with stone sculptor Nora Valdez. There are many more demonstrations yet to see this summer. PCN brings you this story in hopes that you can attend a future artist demonstration.
The art complex was started in 1971, and for our 45th year, we thought we would do something different, and we invited artists to show their work and do demonstrations. So Nora Valdez today has a piece on the grounds of the museum, so she's going to be demonstrating her stone carving.
With like the point, the tooth, and a flat, you can do a whole sculpture. So I work a lot with everyday people, like the woman, and mostly the woman, and I represent a lot, I have a lot of themes with immigration. People being displaced, and so I do a lot with a lot of baggage. And so I work a lot with the theme of home also. And so sometimes I say I am from here, there, and nowhere because I grew up in Argentina, my mom was Italian. After, you know, I mean, it's just like kind of, I know when I'm drifting from one place to another too.
Well, the art complex, we feel, is really quite a gem because it is tucked away and it takes a little work to find us, but a lot of people, once they get here, they just love the serenity, and there is something always different and interesting here. You find traditional work as well as really out there contemporary work, and it's a friendly, welcoming place.
It's not that you have to be like humango person to just carve a stone. As obviously, you can see with me that I'm very small. And it was I have a kind of funny story, but we used to meet all the artists in a cafe, and people were like, as a painter, so they used to come, the people who did the public monument, there were 6 men, and say, you know, that they were tired and this and that. I was so physical, and I said that as a painter, that we also get very tired. It's different types of physical, and so they asked me if I knew how to carve, and I said yes, but I didn't have no idea really. So they said, well, just come to the studio, and usually in the studio they have a lot of people carving and stuff like that. So of course I just go and figure out what to do. And I go there, and they give me a block of marble, Carrara marble, which is incredible pure stone, and the chisels, which I never have used before. And you know, I was like, just get out of this. And I said, no, I'm just gonna carve. And I start carving, and they were looking at me. They come and look at me, because when you carve mostly marble and one that is super wide, like Carrara marble, you can get a bruise if you don't do in the right angle, the chisel. So they, for some reason, I didn't get any, and so they loved what I did, and I was like, I did like it, I keep coming back until I finish the piece. So they apologized to me, and they invited me to be part of their team. And so I was like number 7, and the only woman. And so that was it.
It's my great pleasure and very excited to introduce Nora Valdez. Thank you, Nora.
A young man from Pembroke took his Eagle Scout project into the woods at a historic well site. The remains at Peter's Well are from the home site of the Pellerin family. They were French settlers deported from Nova Scotia by the British at the start of the French and Indian War in 1755. This young resident saw an opportunity to help preserve the site as he committed his Eagle Scout work to his community. PCN brings you the story, which is the second one produced by the seniors from Pembroke High School for their independent study project.
A few short months ago, this historically significant area looked a lot different. It was overgrown and unrecognizable. That is until this year, when Eric Frisbee, a descendant of the family that owned a plot of land 300 years ago before it was donated to the Historical Society, decided to make a change for his Eagle Scout project. Eric and a group of Boy Scouts that he assembled worked together to restore this well, to create an environment that people can enjoy the beauty and learn something new about the town's history.
An Eagle Scout project is a project that the Scout decides upon that should aim to help the community that he lives in or the community that he is from. Eagle Scout projects can range from something like renovating a well to building like an observation deck in a nature preserve. It can really be anything as long as it benefits the community in some way and as long as you put in the work.
Everyone knows about the Boy Scouts, but not many people know what being an Eagle Scout actually is.
The term Eagle Scout or the rank Eagle Scout carries a lot more weight than being a regular Boy Scout. When you're in a job interview and on your resume it says Eagle Scout, the interviewer sees that and they know that you are a responsible person, and they know that you get things done. Boy Scouts can mean a lot of different things. They could be 12-year-olds to all the way up to 17-year-olds, but Eagle Scout is someone who was responsible enough to get their project done on time.
Elementary school students in Pembroke will have an opportunity to see the site on their own during their historical town field trip. However, if you wish to experience it for yourself, it is ideally located.
The well is located in Pembroke, Massachusetts, in the Fairwood Drive neighborhood. Just follow the road through the center past the Herring Run and turn right. Just follow the road until you come here. You can see this kiosk from the road.
I'm Matt Krecky from PACTV Community News.
Well done, and good for Eric for doing his project on something that's so important. And we've noticed a lot of Eagle Scouts are doing local community projects that really bring history together. with education. So good for him.
It looks like we have a new correspondent, too. Watch your step, mister. No, it was actually, they did a great job. Good voiceover.
Great job.
It was a lot of fun. Plymouth Plantation provides the community with many varied historic and cultural programs that teach and inspire visitors. They're always adding new initiatives to strengthen their mission and community connections. PCN was invited to the implementation of their newest endeavor, Bees.
Our newest initiative is right out there under construction, so it's not quite perfect yet, but this is our newest exhibit here at Plymouth Plantation, and it will be opening later this spring. What has just happened here is the installation of the bee packages. Our volunteer beekeeper and volunteer beekeeping instructor, Kevin England, was kind enough to donate 2 complete hives for our exhibit, and they're going to be one of the integral components of this new beekeeping exhibit. We have had bees here at Plymouth Plantation since 2014, but we've kept them behind the scenes because we weren't sure quite where to go with bringing beekeeping in front of the public. What's happening out here in the new garden exhibit is a combination of 17th century reproduction bee skeps, old-fashioned hives, which we cannot keep bees in legally today, as well as these 2 new Langstroth hives, where our bees will be on exhibit and buzzing around and hopefully making all the things that bees make. We're also going to be planting this newly renovated courtyard with plants that are friendly to all different kinds of pollinators, both imported, like honeybees were, and also to native pollinators, like butterflies and hummingbirds and things like that. So we're really excited, and we're really glad that despite the really horrible weather, the bees are now in their new homes, and I really hope that you will come and see our bees as the summer progresses and we open up the exhibit.
The plantation holds beekeeping instruction classes with an intermediate 1-day workshop this August and a new beginner series in the spring of next year. In the classes, you can learn about the history and importance of honeybees and how to have a habitat of your own. You can go to the plantation website for more information on the bee programs and classes, as well as the new habitat.
Every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 on WATD 95.9 FM, a program called Almost Famous showcases local musicians trying to get their start in the business. For 5 years, the show has grown and given many artists the chance to be heard. To celebrate, a concert was held at the Spire featuring many of these previously showcased artists, and a portion of the ticket sales went to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Plymouth. PCN was happy to be there.
On the 51st floor of the
We are celebrating 5 years of a little radio show that I started years ago at WATD, a radio station in Marshfield called Almost Famous, and the whole purpose of the radio show itself and tonight is to celebrate local music in our community.
So much trouble, so much pain, the children don't know where they're going now.
And there's a lot of programs like it, but what's unique about Almost Famous is I feel like John has really found a lot of musicians that are really putting themselves out there, and it gives bands like myself and others an opportunity to just, really be heard. And, there's a lot of people that I know that are making moves, and they may not have made the big move yet, but they're doing well, and a show like Almost Famous really showcases them. It's great.
Well, Almost Famous has been 5 years. We started with them 5 years ago as a sponsor, and it's been a great 5 years, and we wanted to have a good anniversary special, so we decided to have it here at the Spire. And there's no place for the younger generation to get their music out. And like you see the shows now, like The Voice and American Idol and places like that, well, they need to start somewhere, and this is where Almost Famous, the radio show, has helped.
Gonna drown every last memory of you I've found.
The journey's been incredible over the past 5 years because music changes by the minute.
It breaks my heart, and I can't deny.
I mean, a lot of people, listening to the radio may not realize, but music changes, even hour by hour. I mean, music happens every minute of every day, and it's just really cool to be able to, have people not only send me music, but to be able to go out and see concerts and discover this music on my own that we get to share over the radio each week.
You will I don't really care about no one.
Oh, oh, feet fell the world, but we looked to the stars and we prayed for something more.
Thank you guys so much. Almost Famous. Happy birthday.
Our pet health segment brings us a new contributor out of Pembroke, Animal Farm, to talk about healthy and unhealthy pet medications.
Welcome to PCN's Pet Health. I'm Kathleen Taylor, owner and pharmacist at Animal Farm in Pembroke, Mass. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about over-the-counter medications you should not be giving your pets. As a caveat, you should always consult with your vet before giving any medications to your pets. One of the biggest things that we see is acetaminophen or ibuprofen in cats and dogs. Very toxic, can cause liver damage, kidney damage, GI bleeding, just not a smart idea. This time of year we see people who give their dogs hydrocortisone cream on a hot spot, and it turns out to be a yeast infection, and it only makes the rash worse. Further, there's over-the-counter cough medicines that contain xylitol in them. That also goes for sugarless candy and chewing gum. And it can kill a dog. It's very toxic to dogs. One of the things you need to do is not store your medication where a dog can climb up on a counter or a cat, and keep them out of reach like you would your children. And if there's any issues with anything that comes up, it's very important that you contact your veterinarian.
Town Talk today brings Kingston's Town Administrator Robert Fennessy to our set. Welcome once again, Robert.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about some important issues that are going on in Kingston today. Tell me about the update on the pay-as-you-throw.
Okay, that's actually, for people who don't know what that is, it's normally you have a sticker fee for the town to throw away your trash.
Yep.
And this would be a reduced sticker fee, but you would have to buy bags. So the goal of that is to reduce the trash that's being disposed of and the cost of the town, and then increase the recycling. Because if you're putting in a recycling bin, you're not paying to get rid of it.
Right.
So that's the goal. At town meeting, June 11th, it'll be a spirited debate about that.
Why is it controversial?
It's controversial because it changes the whole setup of how things have been done in Kingston.
Forever?
Forever.
Yeah.
And well, until they change it again.
Right, right.
But whether it actually saves money or costs more money for some people, maybe with bigger families than the smaller, and it may be an impact on the seniors. All that is going to be discussed at a selectmen's meeting and then a town meeting.
Okay, great.
And when it goes to town meeting, it's only going to be it's a non-binding question on the warrant to just give guidance to the Board of Selectmen, so they'll know which way the town is feeling on going.
And will it ultimately be up to the Board of Selectmen to make the decision?
It is. So that they didn't just want to do that and have an effect on all the people.
Sure, that's good.
Use the transfer station.
So that people can weigh in. Now, what about the dog park?
Dog park is another interesting thing. There was a group formed about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, to look at whether the town should have an enclosed dog park so that dogs can run and socialize with other dogs, and people can socialize the owners of these dogs with each other.
Yeah.
And a group was put together, and they did a good job of looking at other towns and cities that have them and the benefits of that, and also some of the issues with that, such as maintenance of a dog park, whether there's any liability issues, things like that. So it's all been vetted out. It's going to town meeting.
Okay.
There's a great opportunity to receive a 90% grant to build it, which is unheard of in the grant world.
Sure.
So.
And you have a location and everything picked out?
We do. It's at the Cap landfill, where
excellent.
you may know it because there's a wind turbine on there.
Excellent.
So it'll be right next to that.
And it'll be voted on at town meeting?
The funding will be voted on
Great.
at town meeting.
Great. That
Board of
sounds like
Selectmen is in favor.
sounds like a positive move.
It is, and a lot
Win-win.
of towns are starting to put these
Yes,
up to give
yes.
the ability to have your animals socialize. And
Right.
run, so.
Okay, the Elm Street dam removal.
Elm Street, another issue, and you know, for people who are interested in these things, you got to come to town meeting on June 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a Saturday.
Yep.
We're hoping to get through the 45 articles in that one day, but we'll see.
Okay.
But the Elm Street Dam is that, if you know where that is, it's an old dam on Elm Street, obviously.
Yeah.
That's been there for over 100 years. And at one time, it generated electricity to pump water.
Okay, and it doesn't anymore?
So it doesn't anymore. It's just, it's kind of gotten into a situation where it's needs a lot of repair work.
Okay.
And there's some liability issues of should it fail.
Right, right.
And also the waterways.
Yeah.
It's the head of the Jones River.
Mhm.
It would, removing it, the proponents say it'll
Oh,
flush that out
okay.
and make it, a good water for animals
Yeah.
and fish and so forth. So that's on to get, again, seed money for a grant,
Yeah.
$125,000 that will go to removing it.
Okay. And again, that's a town
That's a
meeting.
town meeting,
And the
yeah.
last thing, can you give me in the last minute an update on the new
Yeah,
police
The
station?
police station's been, 1 minute is hard because it's
Okay.
gone back and forth on the land itself.
Did you-
On whether, we're looking at buying a piece of land from Silver Lake.
Yes.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Initially, the word from the state was that it had to be voted by all 3 towns.
Oh, okay.
Then they reversed that decision and said it only had to be voted by the school committee.
Okay.
Now, the school committee may want to put it forward only if the other 3 towns
Okay.
vote on that. So that's for the land. The funding of the police station it was 12 million, has been pared down to 8.9 million.
All right.
That's on the warrant for
Okay,
town meeting.
so there'll be a lot of discussion about this.
A lot of discussion,
at
you know,
town
and there's
meeting.
been so
Sounds like
much
you have a lot of
discussion.
items that'll have a lot of discussion at town
It
meeting.
is, and that's why I'm hopeful we can get through in one day, but
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, well, it is what it is. They're
It is.
important issues to discuss.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Until next time.
Thank you for having
Alrighty.
me again.
Thanks for watching. Links to all the stories you saw here tonight are at our website, or you can find PCN on YouTube. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for updates, links, and behind-the-scenes fun. There is a special social media piece on This Week with Mr. Fennessy that you don't want to miss. See you next week for more local community news.